again. Hi everybody and welcome to my kitchen. Today I bring you the second recipe in my series of traditional Spanish recipes. We're going to be making the one, the only Tortilla de Patatas, or Spanish omelette. Let's look at the ingredients that we're going to need. Okay, this is a very simple recipe, so let's do it all together. First of all, I have some potatoes here and the first step is to peel them. Spanish omelette is a very simple recipe. It has so few ingredients, so it's key that you do everything right. I have seen some recipes where they didn't peel the potatoes. Terrible mistake. Don't do that. Okay, they're all peeled, but they're super dirty, so I'm going to give them a quick wash. My potatoes are all washed now, nice and clean. The next step is also quite important, although you have two options here. I always cut my potatoes in really thin slices. Some people like to cube them. I do like the look that you get when you cube your potatoes, but I've always done slices. We're gonna do it that way. But you wanna make sure that you get them nice and thin, so you need a nice sharp knife for that. Then I'm just gonna move them into a bowl. And just continue to do that with all of your potatoes. This is how thin my potato slices are. Almost see through it, definitely see light through it. If you have a mandolin, you could totally use that. You get them nice and thin and it'll be much quicker. Okay, next I'm just gonna peel some garlic. I have 2 garlic cloves here. I'm just gonna crush them a little bit and take off the peel. And I'm just gonna move to my onion. I have 1 big onion here, which I'm just gonna peel and dice. Okay, since the onions are burning my eyes, I thought this was the perfect opportunity to try a trick. Apparently, if you wet some kitchen roll or kitchen towel and you put it on your chopping board, it should attract the whatever compound the onion has that makes your eyes water, and it should help. Let's see if it works. All right, now with everything, no it doesn't. So it doesn't work. Now that everything's prepped, I'm gonna go and get my hob ready and we can start cooking. Okay, after everything's set up, so the first thing you want to do is put a good bit of oil into a frying pan and let it come to temperature. And when my oil comes to temperature, I'm going to throw in a clove of garlic. That will tell me when the oil comes to the right temperature, but it will also infuse nice flavor into the oil itself. Okay, my oil is bubbling nicely now, so I'm going to put in my potato slices now. But put them in slowly because I don't want to drop the temperature of the oil too much. What I like to do also is, if I notice that there's some slices that are much thicker than others, I like to put them at the bottom. Okay, all my potato is in now. I want to keep the heat kind of low to medium. The idea is that we're trying to poach our potato in the oil. We're not trying to fry it. We should try to avoid to get any crispy bits in there. It's supposed to be soft. On a low to medium heat, it will probably take about 20 minutes. Keep coming back and stirring every once in a while because the bits at the bottom will try to brown. Don't forget, like I almost just did, to salt your potatoes at this point. But don't worry, you can correct it afterwards as well. I was flipping my potatoes around and I came across this garlic, so I'm gonna take it out now. And the next step is to go in with your onions. You can stir them through. We want them to go down and get nice and sweet also. Every household has their own version of Spanish omelette, and there's a centuries-old debate whether a Spanish omelette should have onions or not. If you don't put onions in your Spanish omelette, I'm sorry to tell you, you're wrong. This is so superior. The sweetness of the onions complements the potatoes so well. Just trust me, onions is the way to go. I also forgot to say, typically we do this with olive oil. Now, over the years, I've started to use other types of oil, like sunflower oil, to make a Spanish omelette. I do find the olive oil has quite a strong flavor, which can be a little bit overpowering, so I prefer to do it with sunflower oil. So I'll probably need to cook the onions for about 5 minutes until they start becoming translucent, and then we're ready to move on. Okay, it's been 20 minutes now, and this looks like it's done. So next I need to take out the potatoes and the onions, but make sure you squeeze out as much of the oil as possible. That is a lot of oil to be using, but in Spain you'd have a Spanish omelette at least once a week, so the same oil can be reused and reused every time. While I wait for my potatoes and my onions to cool down a little bit, I have a separate bowl and I'm going to crack in here my eggs. Because of the amount of potato, I think I'm gonna need 6. Actually, I like my Spanish omelette to be a little bit more on the runnier side, so I'm gonna do 1 more egg, so 7 altogether. And all I'm gonna do is give them a bit of a whisk. Okay, we're almost at the end there now. So I'm just taking my potatoes and my onion and I'm giving them a bit of a stir because I want to help them cool down a little bit. I'm about to pour the egg mixture in here. I don't want the heat of the potato and onion mixture to already start cooking the eggs. So I just want them to cool down a wee bit, but I think that's fine. So I'm just gonna add in my eggs and give them a good mix. And at this point you can tell whether you're happy with the consistency of your mixture. At this point you can then do your final season as well. So I'm gonna go in with a little bit of pepper and just a little bit of extra salt. So that's all well mixed in. I'm gonna cover it and let it sit for about 10 minutes and then we can finally fry our omelette. My mixture has now been resting for 10 minutes, so I'm gonna go ahead and cook it. I'm using a smaller frying pan because I prefer to get a thicker omelette rather than a big wide one, but up to you, do whichever one it tickles your fancy. My oil is now well hot, so I'm gonna go in with my mixture. Just let it even out a little bit, right to the edges, and we're gonna let it cook. It should take probably about 4 to 5 minutes on the first side, and then if you want it nice and runny on the inside, just flip it over and cook it for another couple of seconds. If you want it to be dry on the inside, so very, very well set, then you can cook it longer. But keep an eye out, you don't want it to burn. Okay, it's barely gone 3 minutes, but I can already tell that it's done. You can see that the edges are nice and cooked, and the whole thing kind of moves as a unit. So I know that the bottom is done, so I'm gonna flip it. So I have a plate here, and just make sure that you have a plate that's bigger than your frying pan, or at least covers the entirety of your frying pan, because that will make it easier to flip. And you have to do it in one swift move. I'm gonna put the plate on top, say a little prayer. 1, 2, 3. And that is perfect. Just slide your omelette back into your pan and give it a bit of shape and cook it for another couple of minutes. Just gonna crank up the heat for another couple of seconds because I want to try and get a bit of brownness on the bottom, and then it's ready to come off. Okay, the time has come. I'm just gonna flip it one more time. And that is perfect. It's exactly how it's supposed to look like. My tortilla looks so pretty and perfect from the outside. Let's have a look what it looks like inside. And that is perfection. It's just under, which is exactly how I like it. It's gonna be so nice and moist. Oh my god. So good. Okay, the time has come. I'm gonna try it. Oh my god. It is amazing. It's everything you want in a Spanish omelette. So nice and moist, sweet because of the onions. The potatoes are nice and soft. It is just perfect. But I have some of my brava sauce here, which I made when I was making patatas bravas. If you haven't seen that video, make sure you check it out. I will link it up here. And I think it will go great with my omelette. So I'm gonna put some on top or on this side. Amazing. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. My omelette turned out absolutely perfect. I could not be happier. I love the color that we have on top. I love how thick it is and how perfectly round, and that filling or the inside that's just undercooked is just perfection. I encourage you to give it a try. It's such a delicious dish. You're gonna love it. If you like this video, make sure you give me a big me gusta. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of it. If you tried this recipe and you want to post it on Instagram, be sure that you tag me. I will leave my handle down below. With that, I'll leave it for this video and enjoy. I lost half of it, but it's delicious.